Morning, I'm Steve Brookman.
Hi guys, I'm Georgina Pullen.
We're out on Barton's Point on the Isle of Sheppey on the North Kent coast. We're going to be fishing for some rays today, hopefully. It's a bright sunny day. As you can see, the tide's still well out at the moment. You can see the sort of ground we're fishing across out there. It's fairly clean, a few broken rocks about, bit of shingle going onto mud banks. And as you can see, a dreaded snag in the form of a great big log. Today we're just going to talk about using fixed spool reels over the top of multipliers. On all sorts of ground you can use a fixed spool reel. Georgina predominantly uses a fixed spool. As you can see, she's using a pen today. That's a Surf Blaster 700. They're a mag sealed unit. That means they're pretty much salt waterproof. I think they come supplied with two spools, so you get a deeper spool for your mono lines and a shallow spool for braided lines. The deeper spool for the mono lines is ideally fixed spools do cast better with a lower diameter line. For the sort of ground we're fishing, we're going to be on about a 0.35, which is your average 15 to 18 pound line. But if you're fishing real clean sandy banks or clean shingle beaches, you could drop down to a 0.31 or even a 0.30. Today, George, you're going to be using I'll take it that's a 0.35.
Yeah, I'm also using £80 very vast shot leader as well with it. The knots, when you connect them both up together, absolutely perfect. As you can see, I don't know if you can see there, but it's very small knots. So when you cast in, it just goes straight through the eye so smoothly. You don't get that sort of snatching. I'm also going to be using my Ziplex Profile Evo. Absolutely love it. Obviously it's been made for my arm length, so as you can see from my reel to the end of the rod, as you cast, obviously bring it over, which we'll show you a bit later on in the video. These Ziplex Profile Evos, they're built quite stiff through the middle, but from the top, I don't know if you can see, very soft tip. So as you get the power from the midsection, it whips round, and as I say, I'll show you again a bit later on in the video with me casting the fixed spool for you.
Myself, I'm using a very similar rod to what George has got there. It's another Ziplex Profile Evo, but mine's got a shorter, slightly stiffer butt. It's more predominantly aimed for the multiplier use with a reel in the lower position, so the butt stiffens up gradually, and as you get to your top hand position, it stiffens up quite a bit, almost goes rigid, for you then to allow it to push the power through and use the power of the midsection and the butt in the rod to propel the lead, obviously as far as you can. Going back to the fixed spools, this is another one of Georgina's reels. This is an Achios air loop, and the beauty of the more modern fixed spool reels now to the later stuff is the length of these spools. These are nice long spools, they do go up to about 45mm in length, which is the gap between here. It allows for a real nice line lay. It's got slow oscillation, so the spool goes up and down at a nice slow pace. And that will allow for a nice line lay. Obviously, the better the line lay, the smoother, the longer the cast. This reel also comes with two spools, a deep and a shallow spool, so it allows you the shallow spool to use with braid because of the real fine diameters. You don't need loads and loads of it on there. And obviously the deeper spool that handle mono lines up to 0.35. Some people would use them up to 0.40. On the side of the spool here, it'll give you the dimensions of the line to how much meterage you can get on there. So a 0.32mm diameter line, you can get a big 300 meters of line on there. That's more than enough for anyone. So these reels are more than adequate to fish the ground that we're fishing on here. They're plenty strong enough to be pulling in rays. The pen and the Achios are both really great built reels, really will take some stick, and they've got great clutches on them as well if you're fishing for the likes of smoothhound, spur dogs and even taupe. When they pick up the bait and go for that long run, that nice smooth clutch will feed out line to them. Just seen Georgina putting the Brighton cast into full effect there, using a fixed spool reel up the butt. Let me just show you what I'm using today. This is a perfect sort of weight rod to be using around the south-east coast, the south coast and the east coast. It's a profile Evo, but with a shorter and slightly stiffer butt. Just lets it handle that 6 ounces a little bit better, lets you punch out them big baits, but you still got a nice tip for playing these rays. It's a lot more fun when you use a balanced set of tackle and you can feel the fish pull back that little bit, rather than using great big stiff rods and heavy lines and you just winching them in. That ain't much fun really. This rod's around 13.4, 13.6. I use it with a short reducer in the bottom of the butt there, just below the reel. That's a Pen Fathom casting special. I like using this for the rays where we're over a little bit of broken ground. It's just got that higher retrieve ratio and a bigger line capacity, so if I want to, I can use a larger diameter line, heavier breaking strain, just to cope with a broken bit of ground out there. I prefer using the reel like this with a reel down the bottom of the butt. The rod in hand here, you could use the reel in the low position, you could use it in the high position. It's good for multiplier and fixed spool. This one's particularly rung up, so the eye placements are where I like them, so I can use the reel in the low position and preferably a multiplier. But if I really needed to, I could put a fixed spool on it, and the Fuji K series guides are more than adequate to handle multiplier and fixed spool use. It's the beauty of them. They're a very versatile eye or ring, and yeah, it's a real nice rod for fishing this sort of ground. It's not too heavy for your place fishing or flatty bashing, but there's enough backbone in there to pull him rays into double figures. Fingers crossed, let's hope we see a big one today. Nearly had the seagull.